Good morning, dears, and welcome to Super Coaching for UPSC by textbook. And today we meet here to discuss one of the very important topic of Indian economy, that is food security. And I am your economy mentor, Pradeep. And so let's start our today's session. So let me tell you that in what manner we are going to proceed with this session. That first of all, I will define that what is the meaning of food security. Then we will discuss that why India need to take steps for the food security. Okay, why there is need to take steps for the food security in case of India. Then we will discuss that what are the challenges for food security. Then we will discuss that what steps government has taken in order to ensure the food security in India. Then we will discuss that which are the international organizations, which are the international organization which are instrumental for ensuring food security. Then we will discuss that that way forward, that what should be done in order to that means ensure more food security in India. So this is going to be the scenario in regard to our today's session. So let's start our session. So when we talk about the food security, what is the meaning of food security? As I said that first I will define that what is the meaning of food security. So let me define it. So what is the meaning of food security? When we talk about the food security, as per the that means definition of United Nations Committee on World Food Security, that means there is one committee of United Nations. That committee is World Food Security Committee, and that defines the food security as, that means all the people all the time have access physical, social, economic access of safe, that means sufficient safe food, okay, that can meet their food food preference as well as the nutritious diet in order to lead a healthy and active life. Okay, so that is the definition of that United Nations Committee on World Food Security. Okay, I am going to repeat once again that what is the definition as per the. I am going to repeat once again that what is the definition of food security. That food security, as per the United Nations Committee, is may be defined as all the people all the time, have physical, social, and economic access of safe and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs. And for what? For healthy and active life. In order to that means live a healthy and active life, all the pupils all the time should have a physical, social, and economic access of sufficient, safe, and nutritious food, so that can meet their food preferences and dietary preferences. That is known as food security. So Ravi Shankar, very good morning, dear. Very good morning. Okay, so that is about the food security as per the recommendation of that means definition of United Nations Committee on World Food Security. So that means the meaning is that there is need to have the access. That is the most important thing, that all the pupils and all the time must have the access, and that access must be in terms of physical access, that must be in terms of social access, that must be in terms of economic access. Economic access means they must be in position to purchase it. Economic access. Social means there should not be disparity among the different sections of society. Okay, social that means physical means that whenever they are going to get the food, that must be with their that means reachable distance. Okay, that is meaning of physical access. Okay, so that why we need to have this access, we need to have access so that they can meet their food preferences and they can meet their dietary needs. Why? Because in order to live a healthy and active life. Okay, so that is the meaning of food security. Now we are going to define that this food security have four components, and one is the availability of food, other is food access, other is stability, food stability, and fourth is food utilization. That means this food security has four components. These are the known as four pillars of food security. Okay, in order to have the food security, we have to work on four pillars. And what are those four pillars? That means the government has to ensure, or authority has to ensure, food availability. First of all, food availability. Second, they must have to ensure food access. Third thing, they must have to ensure that optimum utilization or best utilization of food. Third thing, they must have to ensure the food stability. Okay, so these are the four pillars of food security. In order to have the food security, we have to, or the authority has to, that means work on these four pillars in order to have universal food security. So this is about the food security. Now we are going to discuss that what are the, why India needs to have the food security. What are the, and I will, that means make sure that we can use some data so that we can make it more relevant, that why there is need to have the food security in a case of India. Okay, so that means as per the World Food Program. Okay, that means as per the World Food Program, 195 million pupils in India are undernourished. Undernourished means they do not have the nutritious food. Okay, and this is the basic requirement of food security. We have discussed in our definition. So that means it is a large chunk of people. That means 195 million people. They are not having the nutritious food. They are undernourished as per the report of World Food Program. Okay, not only this, 43% of children in India are chronically undernourished. Okay, that means 195 million pupils are undernourished. Not only, among them 43% of children are chronically, that severely undernourished. Not only this, that as per the that means Global Hunger Index of 2023, that India ranks 111 out of 125. Okay, that means Global Hunger Index. If we talk about the Global Hunger Index, the India ranks 111 out of 125. That means our rank is very, very, very poor. So that means, and it shows that there is serious issues. Okay, serious issues in context to hunger in India, and our rank has, that means degraded. In 2022 it was 107. So that means we have degraded our rank, that means four places. That means the problem of hunger has increased from 2022 to 2023 as per this report, Global Hunger Index report. As per the Global Hunger Index report, our rank has, that means we are not performing good. Okay, rather we are performing bad in comparison to 2020. In 2022, our rank was 107 out of 125 nations. That means it was not good at that time also, but it is still impoverished. That means now rank is 111. Okay, so this is that's why, that means I gave some data to you pupils, that why there is need to have the food security in India. There is need to take measures for the food security in India, so that this the hunger index rank can be improved, so that malnourished people can be taken care, so that undernourished people can be taken care. And who prepared this Global Hunger Index? That is being prepared by the Concerned Worldwide. It is an NGO of Ireland, and Welthunger Life. It is a German non-profit organization. I am good, dear. I am good. So I just want to say that although we have taken sufficient measures, or we have taken the measures in regard to ensure the food security in India, but the measures are not sufficient enough, because these data show the relevancy of those measures in itself. That as per the World Food Program, 195 million people are undernourished, 43% children are chronically undernourished. Our rank is 111 out of 125 countries as per Global Hunger Index. That means hunger has increased in India, that people are not getting 2 square of meal. That's why this lecture is going to be more significant or more that means relevant in respect to these data. So it is not like that we have not taken the measures. We have taken measures, but that we are not getting the required result. So there is need to improve. That is nothing but way forward. So what should be done? So now we are going to proceed further, and we are going to discuss that what are the challenges for food security. What are the challenges for food security? So when we talk about the challenges, we can say that climate change, because food security, in order to have the food security, we need to have the food grains, and food grains is agriculture product. And in case of India, I already discussed when I was discussing irrigation system, that 60% of agriculture is still dependent on monsoon, and there is erratic nature of monsoon. Many times there is drought, many times there is flood. Not only this, because the temperature of earth is increasing, that's why there is climate change. So what we can produce earlier, that means in a different season, it is not possible nowadays. So what are the challenges? That means our agriculture is still dependent on monsoon. 60% agriculture is still dependent on monsoon, and there is erratic behavior of monsoon. Not only there is climate change. Not only this, there is lack of assist in the remote areas. Okay, although we ensure the National Food Security Act, okay, we will discuss. We have the PDS system, but still there is lack of the access to the remote areas. There is increase in rural-urban migration. That means in search of the employment, people migrate from rural areas to urban areas, and at that urban areas, in order to that means avail the facility of PDS, or in order to avail that food security or food at subsidized rate, they do not have any credentials to prove that they are the people who needs the food. Okay, increase, and there is that means in search of employment, there is increase in the migration from rural areas to urban areas, and many times they feel they've felt the problems. Not only this, when we talk about, there is overpopulation. In case of India, there is poverty. That's why they are not able to assess that economic access, the lack of education, and gender inequality. That means many times when lactating women and the pregnant women need more nutritious food, and that means more food, and there is discrimination, gender discrimination in Indian society. So that is also the reason. Okay, that is also the challenge for the food security. Overpopulation. Not only this, when we talk about that, there is unmonitored nutritious program. That means we are running lot many nutritious program from tom to bomb, from bomb to tom. Sorry, that means government is running program for that means a pregnant woman the moment she get pregnant to the moment she give birth to the children, and not only children, government is running the lot many social welfare programs as well. So that means the moment the individual take birth to the moment the individual is no more, up to that time government is running the program, social welfare program, but they are not, there is lack of accountability for those programs. Okay, that is the meaning of unmonitored nutritious programs. Under NFSA, that government is running for the lactating women. Okay, they are entitled to get 6,000 rupees as a monetary benefit. Not only that, they are also entitled to get the nutritious food. And once the child is going to be 6 months, child is entitled to get the nutritious food from 6 months to 6 year, and from 6 year to 14 year the child is entitled to get the food, nutritious food under the midday meal. So that means there is provision, but whether they are effective or not, there is lack of accountability. Not only this, there is lack of the coherent food nutritious policy. Okay, and there is corruption, it is very common. At the same time there is corruption as well. So what are the challenges? We can say there is climate change. In the climate change we can say that erratic, the 60% of agriculture in India is dependent on monsoon, and there is erratic behavior of monsoon. Not only this, because the earth temperature, there is average increase in the earth temperature, because of that there is seasonal change. There is lack of access to the remote areas, lack of food access to the remote areas. There is increased rural urban migration, and once they got migrated to urban area, they are not able to give their identity, to prove their identity before concerned authority. So they many times they were that means removed from the beneficiary list of beneficiary. There is unmonitored, and we discussed all this. Okay, it is very clear. Now we are going to proceed further, and we are going to discuss that what are the measures. Yeah, yes dear. Solius I'll, yes, thank you for the definition of corruption. So when we talk about when we talk about that what measures government has taken, we will discuss that National Food Security Act, this act which was passed in 2013, and we will discuss this act in detail. Okay, little bit. Okay, because this was just for the ensuring food security. This is directly related to food security. Okay, and public distribution system, it is nothing but reform. Public distribution system was reformed in National Food Security Act only. Okay, we will discuss the midday meal. You people very much know. So what are the initiative? That initiative is in the form of National Food Security Act, in the form of public distribution system, in the form of midday meal, in the form of integrated child development services. Government is running all these programs. There is program National Nutritious Strategy. There is also program Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. In order to, as I said that food security is related to the agriculture production, and agriculture production is dependent on the that monsoon. So just to reduce the dependency on monsoon, government is running Pradhan Mantri Sinchai Yojana, under which, in order to remove the dependency on monsoon, so that there can be sufficient production of agriculture produce. Not only this, there is Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana as well. There is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. These are the important government initiative in order to ensure the food security in India. And we will discuss in detail the National Food Security Act and Public Distribution System, okay, because it is not feasible to discuss all in detail. It is not feasible. We very clear that we have the constraints of time and we cannot discuss all these things. Okay, we will definitely discuss when we will have the regular classes. Okay, that means we are running a batch and we are going to discuss all these things in that batches. Yeah, midday meal. Okay, so now let me tell you that what is National Food Security Act, and first let me tell that what is the meaning of PDS. And PDS was reformed in the form of targeted PDS, and then we passed in 2030 we passed a act that is known as National Food Security Act. So we are going to discuss all these things. Okay, so first let me tell you that what is PDS, Public Distribution System. Anyone? What is PDS? Anyone, what is PDS? Let me tell you, my dears, please listen me and listen me very carefully. What is the meaning of PDS? PDS means a distribution of food to the citizens or to the people at a subsidized rate. At a subsidized rate through fair price shops. Through fair price shops. Okay, you must be aware about this. Okay, that means that is in general terms known as quota. Okay, so what is public distribution system? Public distribution system is distribution of foods to whom? To the citizens or to the pupils at subsidized rate. At subsidized rate through fair price shops. Through fair price shops. Okay, so this is, and who operationalized this PDS system? Who is authority to operationalize this PDS? That is FCI, Food Corporation of India. FCI, Food Corporation of India is instrumental or is responsible for operationalization of PDS system in India. That means Food Corporation of India is the authority who procure the food grains from the farmer, who store the food grains from the farmer store, and who is responsible for transporting the food grains from the fair that means to their storage houses to the state government. Please be very clear. Okay, it is very important that I am just want to say that what was the scenario and how and what we have made the changes. What I want to say that first I define that what is PDS, public distribution system. Public distribution system refers to distribution of food grains among the citizens or among the people at a subsidized rate. And how? Through the fair price shops. So that means in order to run all this program there is need to have a authority. And who is that authority? That authority is known as Food Corporation of India. So central government or central government have the authority that is known as Food Corporation of India. So this is the responsibility of Food Corporation of India. This is responsibility of Food Corporation of India to procure the food grains from the farmers in order to ensure PDS, just not to procure, just to store that procurement, just to store that food grains, and not only store, just to transport the food grain. Who is responsible for distributing? It is state government. State government are instrumental for distributing of food grains. But who is going to procure? FCI. Who is going to store? FCI. That means FCI is going to transfer this food grains to the state government, and at the price at which FCI sold out the food grains to the state government for running the PDS system is known as central issue price. Please be very clear. Central issue price. Is it okay? Let me know, is it okay? Is it okay to all? That means the operationalization of PDS, okay, the Food Corporation of India is the authority who procure the food grains, who procure the food grains, who store the food grains, and who transport the food grains to the state government. So whose responsibility to run the PDS? It is the state government responsibility. It is the state government responsibility to run the PDS, and how they are running? They are running through the fair price shops. So that means for running that PDS through the fair price shops, that FCI is going to sold out that food grains to the state government. So the rate at which the FCI sold out food grains to the state government is known as central issue price. Central issue price. So let me know, can it be more than central issue price? Let me know, can central issue price be more than prices of PDS? Prices of PDS? Can it be? Sorry. Can the central issue price be more than the prices of PDS? Anyone? This is the matter of common understanding only. It can never be. What does it mean? Central issue price is the price at which? It cannot be. Central issue price may be less than price of PDS, because how I define PDS? PDS is nothing but distribution of food grains among the citizens at a subsidized rate. So that means whatever price the central government is going to procure, okay, that means they are going to give the subsidy. So that means central issue price is the price at which FCI sold out the food grains to the state government. So it cannot be that state government can earn 1 or 2 rupees more and they can sold out to PDS. Rather, they can give the subsidy from their side. The state government can give the subsidy, whatever subsidy central government is giving, that is okay. Okay, that means whatever cost is going to be of the procuring, that is known as economic cost. So economic cost is going to be more than central issue price. Okay, so that means from the economic cost they are giving the subsidy, that is known as central issue price, and that central issue price they are going to sold out it to the state government, and the state government cannot earn 1 or 2 or 3 rupees and they can sold out to PDS at the PDS. In the PDS. So it may be that central issue price they can give further subsidy, maybe 1 rupees, maybe 2 rupees. That is going to be beared by the state government, concerned state government. But the central issue price can never be more than the price of PDS. Be very clear. It is matter of common sense. I think it is getting sense. Okay. So that means at whatever price, the FCI procure and transport and store is known as economic cost of food grains for procuring for ensuring PDS. And whatever that means, on suppose that that let me tell you that they are going to purchase from farmer 25 rupees per kg of food grain, that is wheat. Suppose wheat, they are, that means for storing they are making expenditure of 2 rupees, 1 rupees. For transporting they are going to make the, so what is going to be economic cost? That is going to be 27 rupees per unit, per kg. Okay, and that what price? Suppose they are going to sold out to the state government at 50 rupees per kg. That is central issue price. So that means how much subsidy government is giving? Central government is giving 12 rupees of subsidy. So can central, that means the ideally at least state government has to sold out it at 12 rupees. It cannot be that a state government is going to sold out, sorry, state government has to sold out it at 15 rupees. Okay, it cannot be that state government is going to sold out at 18 rupees or 90 rupees. They have to sold out at least 15 rupees. It may be that state government may sold out at 12 rupees. That means 3 rupees subsidy is further going to be given by the state government. That is the meaning. That is the meaning. Okay. So be very clear that what is central issue price? Central issue price is the price at which the FCI sold out the food grains to the state governments to run PDS. And what is economic cost? Economic cost is the cost at which the FCI procure, store and transport the food grains to the state governments. I think it is making sense. So this is the case. Okay. So we were running the PDS system. Okay. So that means I just want to make sure once again, I am going to repeat once again that PDS, what is PDS? PDS is nothing but distribution of food grains among the citizens or among the people at a subsidized rate through fair price shops. So who is instrumental? What is the authority who is instrumental for operationalization? That is FCI. Meaning FCI is instrumental for procuring food grains, for storing food grains for PDS, for transporting food grains. So that means who is running? Who is the concerned authority for running the PDS? It is state government. So the only operationalization is being done by FCI, but that means the running is done by the concerned state government. So the state government is going to purchase the food grains from FCI to run PDS. The rate at which they purchase, that is known as central issue price. So there is difference between the economic cost and central issue price. So what is economic cost? The economic cost for FCI is going to include all the cost of procuring, transporting and storing the food grains. That is going to include that at what cost the FCI is going to purchase food grains from the farmer, and in addition to that they are going to make expenditure in the form of storage. They are going to make the expenditure for transport as well. So that is going to be economic cost. But they are going to sold out it to the state government at central issue price. So central issue price is definitely going to be lesser than economic cost. That is nothing but subsidy. The central government is going to give subsidy to the state governments or to the for the running PDS system. So that is the meaning. Okay. Now we are going to proceed further. Sorry. So we are going to discuss that what was the scenario. We are running this PDS system in 1997. Please be very clear. In 1997, we made a reform in PDS system that is known as targeted PDS system. Targeted PDS system. Targeted PDS. What is targeted PDS? That means under this targeted PDS, we divided the population of the beneficiary of the citizens or beneficiary under two category. One is APL, other is BPL. That means we are running PDS system, but 1997 we made a reform in PDS system, and that reform was that we divided the beneficiary among two category. One is known as APL category, other was known as BPL category. Who was under the APL category? APL category above poverty line, the individuals or the beneficiary who were above the poverty line, and there was individual or the beneficiary who was the below the poverty line. Okay, below the poverty line. Please be very clear. Okay, and that means the individuals who were above the poverty line, known as APL category individuals, they were entitled to get the food grains through PDS at economic cost. Be very clear, at economic cost of FCI. Why we made this reform? We made this reform in order to make the reform. Okay, we made this reform in order to decrease the subsidies. In order to decrease shock or supply storage PDS system. Okay, in order to reduce the subsidies, we made this reform. Okay, and for that we categorized the beneficiary under two category. One is APL and other is BPL. So APL people, they were above the poverty line, and BPL people, they were below the poverty line. Okay, so that means APL people were entitled to get the food grains through PDS at economic cost of FCI. They were getting the food grains under the targeted PDS, which was made under 1997. In 1997, that means APL people were entitled to get PDS, entitled to get food grains under TPDS at the economic cost of FCI, and BPL people, they were entitled to get food grains under the TPDS at half of economic cost. Be very clear, half of economic cost of FCI, so that we can reduce the subsidy. We can reduce the subsidy burden, because earlier everyone was getting at central issue price, at subsidized. So that means make it more rational. That we divided who are above poverty line, that means the individual who is not in the poverty line, that means they were above the poverty line, they are not in the poor condition, and the people who were in poor, and the people, that means who were below the poverty line, they were entitled to get that means food grains under the TPDS at half of the economic cost. Suppose economic cost, how much we said economic cost? It was how much? It was 27 rupees. Okay, so that means these people were entitled to get TPDS food grains under TPDS at the rate of 27 rupees, but these people, APL, was entitled to get the food grains at 13 rupees 50 paise, half of the economic cost. Okay, again in 2000 we made another reform. Okay, that means that is known as Antodaya Anna Yojana. That means we try to identify poorest among the poor. Poorest among poor. That is known as Antodaya Anna Yojana. in 2000, again we reformed targeted PDS and we identified the poorest among the poor. And we identified 1 crore household, be very clear, 1 crore household under this Antyodaya Anna Yojana. And 1 crore household means almost, if we take average 5 members per household, that means we identified 5 crore, that means individuals. We given 5 crore individuals, that means beneficiary of Antyodaya Anna Yojana. And under this Antyodaya Anna Yojana, that beneficiary of Antyodaya Anna Yojana, they were entitled to get that coarse cereals at the rate of 1 rupees per kg, 1 rupees per kg. Be very clear. That is wheat at the 2 rupees per kg and rice at 3 rupees per kg. I am going to repeat once again. Okay, that in 2000 we again try to identify the poorest among poor. Okay, they were known as Antyodaya Anna Yojana. That was known as Antyodaya Anna Yojana. And under the Antyodaya Anna Yojana, we identify 1 crore household. 1 crore household means that on average, if 5 members are there in one family or one household, that means we identified 5 crore population who was beneficiary to get the food grains at heavily subsidized rate. That is, they have to pay 1 rupees per kg for the coarse cereals. They have to pay 2 rupees per kg for the wheat, and they have to pay 3 rupees for the rice. That was the system under the Antyodaya Anna Yojana. It was under the TPDS only, but BPL was further divided into Antyodaya Anna Yojana family and non-Antyodaya Anna Yojana family. Again, be very clear. Again in 2013, okay, and this, be very clear, that's this TPDS system. This was universal. TPDS was universal. That means all were covered, either in the form of APL or in the form of BPL or in the form of Antyodaya Anna Yojana family. That was universal. We were not eliminating anyone. But under the National Food Security Act, only 76% population is being covered. They were given the right to food. Okay, so now be very clear that under the TPDS, that was universal in nature, but only difference was that APL family was entitled to get the food grains at the economic cost of FCI, and BPL family was entitled to get the food grains at the half of economic cost of FCI, and Antyodaya Anna Yojana family, they were entitled to get the food grains at 1 rupees per kg for coarse cereals, 2 rupees per kg for wheat, and 3 rupees per kg for rice. Okay. Now in 2013, we passed the act that is known as National Food Security Act. Be very clear. National Food Security Act. We passed in 2013 to ensure food security. But still we are not able to, as we have figured out with the data. Okay, what was the provision under it? That 75% of rural population, 75% of rural population, be very clear, rural population was covered under the National Food Security Act. That means they were entitled to get the food grains at subsidized rate, 75% population, that means 25% population was eliminated. They were not entitled to get any food grains at subsidized rate. Okay, and 50% population of urban areas, 50% population of urban areas, they were entitled to get the food grains at subsidized rate, not subsidized, rather highly subsidized. Okay, altogether 67% population, 67% population, entire country, 67% population was targeted under the National Food Security Act. Okay, and this, under this National Food Security Act, the families were divided under priority household family, priority household, priority household family, otherwise अंत्योदय अन्न योजना, अन्न योजना family. Okay, in case of TPDS, be very clear, TPDS, in case of TPDS, we identified 1 crore household. Okay, under this NFSA, National Food Security Act, okay, we identified not 1 crore, rather we increased the Antoday Anna Yojana family to 2.5 crore, 2.5 crore. That means if we are going to take average, that means 12.5 crore family was covered, or not family, rather 12.5 crore population was covered under Antoday Anna Yojana. And that priority household, the other division was priority household. Okay, and priority household, that means both were entitled, be the case of priority household or be the case of Antoday Anna Yojana family, they are entitled to get the coarse cereals at the rate of 1 rupees per kg, they are entitled to get 2 rupees per kg wheat, they are entitled to get 3 rupees per kg food, that is rice. That means that is highly subsidized. All are going to get the coarse cereals, be the case of coarse cereal, be the case of rice, or be the case of wheat at same price, be the case of priority household or be the case of Antoday household. But the only difference was they were entitled to get only 25 kg food grains, 25 kg, and they were entitled to get 35 kg. Okay, so what is the National Food Security Act? And there is other features also under the National Food Security Act, like I talk about that lactating women and the pregnant women are also entitled to get the food grains. They are also entitled to get maternity benefit, maternity benefit of that means monetary help of 6,000. There are other features also which is not significant for the food security. Okay, so we will discuss when we will discuss the agriculture sector. Okay, agriculture in our regular classes or in our batch. So what is going to be, what I want to say, that in case of that means how development took place. Okay, that how we transfer from PDS to National Food Security Act, and what were the provision. So under the National Food Security Act, only 67% population is being covered, 75% in rural areas and 50% in urban areas, and they were divided among two categories. One is priority household, other was Antoday Anna Yojana household. PDS, that means there was no division between among APL and BPL family. Okay, under the PDS system that we are running after the independence, that means there was no difference between APL and BPL. Okay, all were getting the food grains at that means subsidized rate. Okay, targeted PDS means we divided the family among APL category and BPL category, and the APL category family was getting the food grains at the economic cost of FCI, and BPL family was getting the food grains at 1.5 of the economic cost of FCI. That was the difference, just to reduce our subsidies. Okay, not only this, we further made change in 2000, and among the BPL only, we identified the poorest among the poor, that is known as Antoday Anna Yojana family, and they were identified, 1 crore household were identified as Antoday Anna Yojana family. Okay, I think it is very clear. Now we are going to proceed further. So we discussed that what is National Security Food Act, okay, what is and how it is ensuring food security and public distribution system. We discussed midday meal. Now we are going to proceed further, and we are going to discuss that international organizations which are involved for ensuring the food security. What are the, okay, there is Food and Agriculture Organization, okay, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Food Program, and there is, they both are United Nations organization, okay, and there is International Fund for Agriculture Development, and there is World Bank, and there is United Nations Environment Program. Okay, they are the international agencies which is involved in the world food security. Now we are going to proceed further, and we are going to discuss that way forward. Way forward, what steps should be taken in order to increase the food grains, that means in order to increase ensure the food security, and so that there is need to increase agriculture production. So what should be? That means there should be distribution of cultivatable land and improving size of farmland. Okay, that means we can increase the cultivation land. Okay. Now we can adopt the crop technique and with the lower water requirement. That means we can adopt those type of crops which are lower water requirement, which have lower, like we can go for aeroponics and hydroponics. These are the types of agriculture. Okay, these are the types of agriculture. That means we can go, that means there is no need to have the soil for in order to that means produce. Okay, so there is some techniques. Okay, and we cannot discuss these techniques here. Okay, so that means but we can name out it in the steps to be taken. We can use the plant with lower water requirement. That means in order to do the irrigation, we can use the micro irrigation measures, like we can use the drip irrigation or sprinkle irrigation, just to avoid the wastage of water and just to have the requirement according to the need of the plant. Okay, because we talk about that in the flood irrigation, there is that means flow of the nutrients as well from the soil. Okay, so when we are going to have the micro, and we can use the, we use the one particular word, fertigation means utilizes with the irrigation, utilization of fertilizer with the irrigation. That means when we were discussing the irrigation, okay, we talk about that for irrigation we can use the fertigation method. Fertigation, that means when we use the fertilizers, we use the fertilizer. How we are using fertilizer nowadays? We are throwing the fertilizer like this in our field. Okay, so in place of that, the plant is not able to that means absorb all fertilizer. Okay, so what we can do? We can mix the fertilizer in the irrigation method itself. Okay, so that it is going to reach to the roots of the plant, then it will be more effective. Okay, so in order to reduce the water requirement, we can use the macro irrigation methods, like we can use a sprinkle irrigation, or we can use drip irrigation, or we can use the fertigation. Okay, we can have the crop diversification. That means we can cultivate different crops, which increases the soil fertility. Okay, so we can use the crop diversification. We can use the blue revolution. Okay, that means we can use for the nutritious need, we can use the seafoods. Okay, that is nothing but blue revolution. Okay, we can have the biotechnology and appropriate other technology for the production method, for increasing the production. Okay, we can talk about genetic foods, genetically modified crops. Although that is the matter of debate, but at least we can use biotechnology. Okay, not only this, the existing direct nutritious program should be revamped. Revamped means there is need to have the accountability of the authority, whether we are spending that much, why it is not giving results. There is need to have the accountability. There is lack of accountability. Okay, and there can be local community education in key family health and nutritious practices. Okay, we can educate the families as well. Okay, to have the awareness among the families. Okay, this is all about our today's lesson, and today we finish here only. If there is any issue, let me know. If there is any issue in regard to this lecture, let me know. Otherwise, we are going to stop here. Okay, and in order to get the PDF of this lecture, you can join my Telegram ID. Not only PDF of this lecture, you will get the current affair PDF on daily basis. Don't worry, I will post it daily basis. Okay, MCQ with explanation. You will get the that practice questions for mains, and you can post the answers there. I will give the comment, I will evaluate as well. Okay, and you can resolve any query related to CSC preparation on this Telegram ID. So I request you, or I advise you to join this Telegram ID to resolve all your queries regarding the preparation of UPSC. If there is any doubt, let me know. Otherwise, we are going to stop here. Thank you very much, dears. Thanks a lot. So we can stop here. Thank you, dears. We stop here.